Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of the DVC show, coming to you from the Bob Varley studio in Orlando, Florida. I'm your host, Pete Werner, joined at the table this week by my good friends Paul Krieger,
Hey, everybody.
Amy Krieger,
Hello.
Jody Gross,
Hi.
and our producer, Big Fat Panda, from BigFatPanda.com, Mr. John Sicari.
How are you?
And just a reminder, this show, along with all of our DVC content, brought to you by the world of DVC. And that includes DVCResaleMarket.com, where you can purchase your DVC contract, Monerafinancial.com, where you can finance your DVC resale contract, and DVCRentalStore.com, where you can rent out points if you'd like to try DVC before you buy, or you don't have enough points for your trip, so you're going to rent some. Or if you have points you're not going to use and you want to rent them out, great place to do it, DVCRentalStore.com. So this week we are going to do start a new series called Resort Spotlight, where once a month we focus on a different DVC resort and kind of talk about it in depth. And this month we're going to talk about Riviera. And I want to start out by talking about my evolution with Riviera. You know, you go back and watch shows from a couple of years ago before they opened it, and I was dead set against Riviera because of the resale restrictions. Mm-hmm. And for those who don't know, Riviera was the first of the resorts under this new set of resale restrictions, where if you resell your Riviera contract, those points are only good at Riviera. They are not good at all the DVC resorts. And that's not the case with prior resorts. If you buy those resale contracts, those points are good anywhere except Riviera. You can't use resale points at Riviera, and if you sell it, those points are only good at Riviera. Mm-hmm. And we all had a problem with that. We all had a problem with that. And of course, it was DVC's way of getting you to buy Riviera direct. That was the whole point behind it for them. They don't want you buying resale. They don't like resale. They wish there was no resale market at all. Even though it brings them so many members, I won't go into it. Nonetheless, I was not on board with Riviera. And then I saw it. Gorgeous. And I have and will openly admit I have bought direct points at Riviera. Because I fell in love with the resort. It does, part of it was, especially during the pandemic, me missing Europe. Mm-hmm. And they did such a gorgeous job with that resort that it really did evoke that feeling of being in Europe.
Yeah.
And so that was the emotional resonance for me that really kind of prompted me to ultimately buy. And of course, Panda just got his first DVC contract. He purchased Riviera.
And the Polynesian was my favorite all the time. Something about the Riviera from the moment I entered, seeing the fountains and then enjoying the gondola and then the restaurants, I did fall in love with it. So, yeah, I'm loving it.
Yeah, and these are some of the big arguments for Riviera. Gorgeous resort. Rooms are beautiful.
It's very pretty. Artwork's gorgeous. I love the artwork
The
there.
artwork is classically inspired, but done in Disney style. So you'll have, a Van Gogh style painting
Yes.
done for Disney.
Which has got the French flair to it. So
Right.
it was very clever how they did that.
And, of course, you can buy all this art
Yeah.
on demand in the store.
That's something that I think really sets Riviera apart from the other resorts right now is first, it's just the common areas and the villas are full of that beautiful artwork. And then you can go, like you said, down to the gift shop and you can order it for yourself from, in a canvas or a framed print, or, even just like a poster, right? They do like a paper version. So depending on what your budget is, you can order it and have it in your house. And we bought two big canvases, and we just absolutely love them. We did the Wally one, and then the Remy cooking, like an apple pie. And if they could sell art like that, that is shown throughout the other DVC resorts, I think that they would sell, you know what I mean? Like a lot of people love the art at the Polynesian, and they love the art at some of the other resorts. I wish they would do the same thing that they do at Riviera, because
This
it's
is
awesome.
all new to me. I bought there, I've been staying there, and I'm loving the artwork. Nobody told me anything was for sale. When did they?
Every single piece that you see hanging at Riviera, the ones in the hallways, the ones, including the ones that are in your actual room, you can buy.
In the gift shop, there is an Disney Art on Demand kiosk, and in that kiosk is where you can order. You can choose your frame, your matting, the whole 9 yards,
Yeah.
and it ships right to your house. There's one hanging over my fireplace in the family room.
I just was admiring what you have on your fireplace. I had no idea that was from the Riviera.
That's from Riviera.
And I think I remember seeing the kiosk, but I thought it was like a mat, making a luggage tag or something.
Now you know.
You missed out.
Yeah.
So gotta
You'll
go back.
never be able to get one now.
No, I'm going back.
That was your only chance. Yeah, that kiosk is dangerous.
Yes.
That kiosk
Yes.
is dangerous. Makes me want to go buy some.
I was just gonna say
Yeah.
now after
You go-
after we
go
eat,
eat
we'll
Chico.
go to the
After
gift
we
shop.
eat at
Yeah.
at Chico.
Just break the bank today.
Yeah, exactly. Why
YOLO,
not?
YOLO.
And
as the
buy
kids say.
and buy a 700-point subsidized
There
Alani
you
contract.
go. There you go.
The so that it's obviously the name's Riviera, themed for the Riviera. And among its draws, beyond its theming, among its draws, the Skyliner is right there. So you have a direct shot to Epcot on the Skyliner, and access to Hollywood Studios. Probably, depending on who you are, a very big draw, the dining, Topolino's in particular.
Fantastic, right? The pasta at Topolino's is amazing. I've never had the steaks. Everyone always raves about the filet.
The
Is it
filet's
filet?
incredible.
Yeah.
I love the ricotta appetizer with the tomatoes.
Yes.
Yeah, I could just.
And breakfast is a good value, because not only do you get an entree, but you can order other things. So if, the steak and eggs with the grits and stuff is really good. If you order that as your entree, but you're like, oh, I still want to try the quiche, they'll still bring you, like a small quiche. Or if you want, potatoes, they'll basically bring you whatever you want. And then you got characters, and it's just a beautiful setting.
That little starter bucket of pastries with the Nutella and the strawberry and some good stuff.
Yeah.
What did you like most about it? You just did your first welcome home stay there.
The whole place grew on me more. I found the staff to be, how we say Disney Cruise is the great staff, and they were the way Disney World used to be. I felt like the Riviera was old Disney World, where people were really looking out for you and just happy for you to be there, and it wasn't put on or phony or forced. So the staff, the whole, we got upgraded, so I don't know how much that went into my, rainbows and unicorns thing, but we got upgraded, so that was nice. The restaurants that we thought weren't available, we were told you could make a reservation for. That was great. The Skyliner access worked out flawlessly. Where it was working the whole time. The weather was fine. I was worried about that. Everything. It was a great trip, and it solidified our decision, and we were thrilled that that's where we owned. We never doubted it after that trip.
Yeah.
Can't wait to do it again.
The rooms that they've built there, I think, are definitely really high end as well, in terms of a lot of the amenities that they've put into those rooms, but also how they're holding up. We're now past 2 years of Riviera being open, and we recently saw a one bedroom. I think we were in briefly, And they're still holding up very well. They're doing very well. They're looking well. And also Riviera was sort of like on the cutting edge of a lot of things that we're now seeing being injected into all of the other Disney Vacation Club properties as well. They were the first resort to have the Tower Studios. So those are very small rooms. It's like living in a suitcase if you want that. But they're perfect for people that are looking for.
But you're talking about what, 12 points a night?
Yeah, like
for one of these,
extremely cheap. Yeah. Perfect for two people that want to maybe go for food and wine or something like that. Just a great overall space, and then also part of the Tower Studios, and then also part of all the regular rooms at Riviera is that pull down Murphy bed.
Yeah, they were the first.
They were the first resort to have those pull down beds, and now we're up to like 4 resorts with Murphy beds and more on the horizon. So, we're seeing both of those concepts continue with the Disneyland Tower. So yeah, definitely has brought a lot of new elements. The new TV setup that is now moving into all of the different resorts as well. A lot of people have mixed emotions with that because it's getting rid of the Disney World Today television station and that music, but it's bringing us into the 21st century of smart TVs and things like that. So they definitely didn't skimp on any of those features when it came to Riviera.
It's a very pristine looking resort, and it just looks so modern too, and just very charming. But they're caring for it really well. Like we watched them outside vacuuming the balconies. And Boardwalk is my favorite resort, but no one is out there vacuuming the balconies, and it shows. Like you can tell they're a little dirty, but Riviera's balconies are so clean because they're still out there vacuuming them, and they're just taking really good care of the resort. Part of it is probably because it is actively selling, but yeah, it's beautiful. I understand why people like it. It's not my absolute favorite, but it's just a very beautiful resort. And the coffee shop has really great. It's
a great coffee
drinks.
shop.
Yeah, cold brew. The almond cold brew, if you've never had it, is really good there.
Yum.
Just to build off of what Paul and Amy were saying about the way the resort is going, the one bedroom that I was in, it looked completely new, except the only thing I noticed was the bottom of the cabinets. Hit by strollers, I'm guessing, wheelchairs.
Yeah.
That, apart from that, the bathroom tile, the bathroom tub, the bedroom looked brand new.
Yeah, and that's probably to be expected, right? Because it's a very light-colored resort, whereas like an Animal Kingdom lodge, you bang that up, or Polynesian, no one's going to notice.
dark.
It's a rustic wood look. But with that more pristine look, you probably are going to notice that more, so they're going to have to, I guess, stay on top of that a little bit better.
The resort has some really great views of fireworks. You can see Epcot's fireworks, you can see Hollywood Studios, you can see the Skyliner like on the other side. So there's just some really very pretty, views to be had there.
Even a pool view is a gorgeous view.
Yeah.
Because that's a beautiful pool area.
It is.
That courtyard area.
And over that water right there between Caribbean Beach and...
It does throw it off that you can see the Caribbean beach in your sight line.
Just don't look.
It's like...
Yeah, I like looking over there. I know it's like, the theming is a little off, but I like looking over there and seeing, what's going on over there.
Yeah. It's a little odd that they consider that preferred, and I mean, it goes with the normal sort of design that they've had with DVC over the years, but standard rooms overlook a parking lot in most cases, and then preferred overlooks whatever the better view is. But in my opinion, at Riviera, it's actually a little bit reversed. Even though standard overlooks a parking lot, you can see Epcot.
Yeah.
You can see
They should have done it by
Harmonious.
floor. Like preferred view should have been like so many floors up on the other side where you can see, Epcot and Hollywood Studios and the fireworks, and maybe so many floors on the other side.
That's true. But you know who does that too is Bay Lake Tower. I always thought it was funny that people would pay for the theme park view. I mean, I know you want to see that from your window, but really, what's between your room and the Magic Kingdom fireworks?
it's a
A
parking
big,
lot.
giant parking lot. And I'm like, you're paying, they suckered you into paying
Yeah.
top dollar for a parking lot view.
See, but it worked there, so why didn't they do it with
Yeah.
Riviera too? I don't know. It surprised me. What was your view recently?
Let's see. We had, it was room 8317, And from the balcony, we could see the Skyliner, and we had the best view of the fireworks. I mean, you could see the Epcot ball when it does its little color changes. We watched the fireworks from the balcony, so we were close to the Skyliner.
Yeah, so they must have been on that side.
Yep.
On the side
On that
that
little
faces.
jut out that
Yes,
faces.
yes.
Yeah.
Now,
Good spot.
I'm looking at the resale pricing right now on Riviera, averaging about $150 a point. Are we surprised by that?
No, because of the restrictions. Because if you buy a resale contract, you can only use it at Riviera. So that does that presents some challenges, because if you miss the booking window and everything gets booked up, then where do you use your points? And even at the 7-month window, you still have that one resort. If you know that you're going to be using your points at Riviera, like we treat our Grand Floridian contract and now our Grand Cal contract, we treat it as these points are for this resort only, and you're not allowed using these points for other resorts. And so
When she says you're not allowed, she means me.
he's not allowed.
Yeah.
So if that's how you feel, like you want to stay at Riviera and your Riviera contract is just for staying there, then I don't see anything wrong with buying resale and just having it restricted there. You just have to plan ahead, because you don't want to get stuck in a position where you don't book what you want, it's not available, and then you have no use for those points.
Now, when you asked if that's surprising, is it because you feel that the price is too low or too
I think
high?
the price is low considering it's a new resort.
Yeah. When we first heard of the restrictions, honestly, so I'm good with the pricing, because we really thought it was going to be pennies on the dollar what you were going to be able to get for them. When we first heard of this restriction, we thought, no, the whole point of DVC is that you can, as a member of one, you're a member of all, and then now they're throwing this rogue thing in there, and we just thought, it's not going to be worth hardly anything when they go to resell it. So I'm actually very pleasantly surprised that the prices are
In the
as
150s.
high as they are. You might think they're low, but in our mind, when we first heard about it, we thought that they were going to be selling under $100 a point, kind of a thing.
Wow, okay.
So, I mean, obviously that's not the case, and luckily that's not the case, but we really thought it was going to be pretty difficult for sellers to recoup what they paid, which is not the case with any other DVC resort, right? But so I'm pleasantly surprised.
How do you find they sell?
They sell. Again, I thought that it was going to be more of a challenge selling Riviera because of the restriction, but I mean, you'll look at the ones pending sale. I mean, we do sell a good amount. They don't sit on there for too long. So there is definitely a market. People love them. So
I think that's a testament to the resort.
Yeah. The strength of the resort.
True.
I mean, I bought a
I was going to
resale.
ask you, I thought you had a resale, so you just make sure you always use it for Riviera.
I use it for Riviera.
Yeah.
I have a resale. I have direct.
Collect them all.
Yeah, really.
Gotta
Collect them all.
like Pokemon.
yeah, a card punch.
No, I fell madly in love with Riviera, and have no trouble admitting it. Everybody thought I hated Riviera. I hated and I still do hate the restrictions. But the resort is gorgeous, and like I said, I ended up buying there. And I remember saying to Gib McCain on the phone when I was buying, I'm like, you guys got me. You guys got me with
That's true.
Riviera.
You did a 180 there, didn't you?
I really did.
Yeah.
You got me. And I think it's important I'm honest about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That I'm honest about that. So, but what else do we love about Riviera?
It smells good.
It
it
does have-
really does.
I noticed
Listen.
that. There was a
Yeah.
specific lobby smell that was more than the other resorts. It was nice.
Yes, it does. It smells really good, and there's just a feeling like when you're walking through there and you can smell it and you hear that music. It's like Disney songs, but they're European. They sound
And what about-
French and Italian.
Do you like I like walking in and just seeing that big thing of fresh flowers when you walk in. I think
Yep.
that's
Yeah.
beautiful. I
That
love
beautiful
that.
spray.
It's very elegant.
Yes, and sorry, go ahead.
No, I questioned if the flowers were real and then figured out that they were.
Yeah.
But going back to the art and the music, is it the only resort that has like their own music? Because we were listening to Under the Sea, it's sung in a different language.
Oh.
So, and it was a lot of like Beauty and the Beast was sung in a different language, and it was either French or Italian.
So all the resorts have kind of their own like track, because I always hear the Wilderness Lodge track, but Riviera does Disney songs in like with like a European flair. You mean like you'll hear like "You Got a Friend in Me" in French, or and it's really cool the way they've done that. And then when it's not the surface of the sun outside, the outside area out back is beautiful. You know, they've got like this cool swinging chairs and chess, like giant yard chess sets and different like little activities and stuff. So it's beautiful to sit out there. And if you walk down towards the water, there's like, chairs and tables and umbrellas. So you can go and like get something from Prima Piatto and take it down and sit by the water and just, watch the Skyliner. And it's beautiful.
Now, when the Riviera was being built, unofficially DVC was billing it as the Grand Floridian of Epcot. Do we feel it lives up to that?
Looks wise, I think they're pretty close. It's got. I was going to mention earlier. I feel like it has a Grand Floridian look to it with the lighter colors and the tile work and stuff like that. I feel like it resembles it. I mean, it's not the Grand Floridian. Let's be clear, but I mean, it does.
See, I think it's better than the Grand Floridian,
but it resembles it a bit.
I think it's elegant.
Yes.
But it's not as uptight as the Grand is. I've always found the Grand Floridian to be very uptight. I don't feel that.
It does not feel uptight, you're right.
Doesn't matter what I'm wearing. When I walk through the Grand Floridian, I feel like I'm underdressed.
See, I think I love the Grand Floridian. It's like one of my favorites. But it's the lobby is, I love the big giant lobby, and that's something that the Riviera doesn't have. I know that Riviera is more, like European boutique hotel, so it's not meant to have a giant, cavernous lobby. But I don't feel uncomfortable. Like, I don't feel like that way at the Grand Floridian. Like, I feel like, although I do feel like the lobby needs a little bit of an upgrade, but I don't feel like it's stuffy over there. I don't know.
A lot of people say that, though. I don't find it to be as extreme as like how you feel, but your opinion of it is very common with resale. What I hear is people are like, "Oh, I don't really want Grand Floridian because it feels too stuffy or uptight, or they feel intimidated, or there's a million different things."
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily feel that when I'm there, but. I mean, I don't know.
The only thing I wish that Riviera did a little bit better was I wish that at Christmas, like they did a little bit of like a bigger Christmas tree. It doesn't have to be in the lobby. It can be down, down where they have more ceiling space. But I would really like to see just a little bit more in terms of like the Christmas decor in there.
What do you think, Paul? Grand of Epcot?
I don't think it's fully lived up to that name, but it's definitely been very surprising as to, Topolino's is the thing that you keep going back to in terms of just amazing dining. Like, it checks all of the boxes, and it's just, I guess, in my mind, it doesn't go as grand as the Grand Floridian is. So, Grand Floridian has 3 or more signature dining experiences that are amazing. And this has 1. Although the other dining options, as we've discussed, are still very good. I think that maybe it would have lived up to that hype a little bit more had it been positioned a little bit closer to Epcot. Does that slight degree of removal maybe affect that in some way, shape, or form?
Yeah, because if the Skyliner goes down, which it did for us, like 2 weeks ago, we were kind of stranded there, and so we had to take a bus and get back to Epcot.
We had to make a park pass because we didn't have a
park pass. We had to make a park pass just so we could walk through Epcot just to get to our car that was at Boardwalk.
Gosh.
And so, now granted, we could have stopped being cheap and we could have bought an Uber, but I do agree with the location thing. The part of Grand Floridian that makes it so grand and amazing is that it's also just a walk away from Magic Kingdom. And before there was a walking path there, the monorail was a little bit more dependable, I think, than the Skyliner can be.
Yeah.
That being said, though, I do. It's funny to think about the fact that we've got both of those resorts now as new, actively selling Disney Vacation Club properties. But when you think about it, they took an extremely old building at the Grand Floridian, basically gave it a little bit of a facelift, and they're calling that basically a new Disney Vacation Club property. And they're selling that against Riviera. Riviera is new. It is pretty. It does look better. It's been interesting to watch those two sell against each other. We saw early on the Grand Floridian sort of outperform in the early months, but they're pretty much neck and neck right now in terms of, I think, how they're selling. And I think Riviera over the past month or two has actually sold better than the Grand Floridian. And so that's telling. People are still choosing it over the flagship resort, the Grand Floridian.
There is a more relaxing feeling, I think, at the Riviera. There were times where I just stopped and thought, even though there's a lot of people here, it just doesn't feel like the hustle bustle of the Magic Kingdom resorts. It just felt more, even the outside areas, everything, the pool, nothing was very crowded. Yeah, more of an escape.
Yep. All right. Well, I think that's a good a look as we're going to do at Riviera. Certainly a resort close to my heart, one of my favorites. And if you haven't had a chance to experience it, I highly recommend it. And that will do it for this week's episode of our show. We hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you again next week with another episode of the DVC Show. Have a great week, folks.